First of all, thank you all for coming here and listening to me talk about Concero. To introduce myself, I'm Andy. I'm one of the founders of a fully decentralized cross-chain interoperability protocol called Concero. And today, I would like to talk to you more about the next iteration of our solution called Concero V2. But before we get to that, let's start off talking about interoperability altogether. What is interoperability? Well, fundamentally, blockchains are just a bunch of decentralized compute with a ledger on top, right? And just like any computer or hardware out there, each chain has its own set of merits and fallbacks. One chain cannot do it all, just like one car cannot do it all for transportation. And, fundamentally speaking, in order to take a step forward in the kind of applications that we can deliver to users, we need to enable blockchains to communicate to each other. But there is a caveat. Blockchains are of the monolithic architecture. This means that they cannot natively accept or send out information to the outside world. Well, this caveat actually is pulling us back with what kind of value we can bring to users. Because imagine, you can only stay on one chain, you can only be good at one process. But what if a solution requires many processes and many other types of compute? Well, this is a big problem, and we're here to solve it. First of all, before I get into Concero V2, let's talk about how we got here and how we got the idea of Concero altogether. Initially, when we started out, we wanted to build an app. We wanted to build an app that will unify all of the on-chain opportunities across all of the chains for users. Because personally, I was tired of using 20 bridges, 30 DEXs, and having 40 tabs open just to do a simple transaction. It was a simple idea, but we wanted to do it right. So what we started doing for the first 8 months of our existence, we were building very quick MVPs, shipping it to users, and aggressively collecting feedback. And after hundreds of user interviews and thousands of feedback forms, we have boiled it out to three main requirements for cross-chain interoperability. That being speed, security, and ease of use. Users want stuff to get done quickly, securely, and they don't want to bother about all of the little details. So this is when we decided to pivot into infrastructure. And from day one, we knew that we had to do it with Chainlink, because Chainlink CCIP was the best and the most decentralized solution out there to build upon. And that's when we joined Chainlink Build, and this is where our story started. So since then, we have delivered Concero V1 in September 2024. And with V1, we have managed to build a fully decentralized infrastructure that can execute cross-chain transactions in under 30 seconds. Before us, there was this notion in the space, whereas if you're fully decentralized, you must be slow. If you're quick, you must be centralized. And this was a problem that we wanted to fix with V1. And that's how we managed to, with Chainlink security, get that number down to 30 seconds. And in order to adhere to the ease of use ethos, we have abstracted away all of the fees and all of the gas. Users do not need to care about what chain they're on. They don't need to care about having the native ETH or native token of that chain in order to execute the transaction. A user just wants a process done. They don't need to care about it. And this is why we needed to abstract it all away. And you can try out V2 right now. It's live, and in the first 50 days of its operation, it has secured over $12 million in transactions. And when you try it out, you'll be amazed. Just say what you want, press one button, and 30 seconds later, it just happens. I think my presentation is a bit out of order, but I'll try and wing it. So when we talk about solving the problem of interoperability, we need to ensure that our solution is fully decentralized, trustless, transparent, and permissionless. Why is this so important? Because, well, we had a lot of problems in this industry, and historically speaking, the only solutions to those processes, to those problems, were adhering to these 4 core tenets. Upon these 4 core tenets, the whole industry was built. And if your solution does not adhere to it, it is not a solution, it is a band-aid. This is why, when designing Concero V2, we had to adhere to it. And in order to connect all of the chains, we needed, I don't know what's happening. We needed to have some decentralized off-chain compute that will be able to validate and pass messages from chain A to chain B. And we had to eliminate any trust requirements because no one wants to have someone sitting in the middle of transactions being able to control what's going through and what's not going through because it's not very decentralized. And I'm excited to tell you that with Kensero V2, we managed to figure it out. So this is how it works. Right? Kensero V2 reduces trust requirements to an absolute minimum by utilizing the cryptographic security of Chainlink functions and marrying it to the economic security provided by Symbiotic. What this means is that there is no one single party during the process of a transaction that has de facto control or enough on-chain authority in order to somehow mess with the transactions. What this results in is us having no centralized points in the infrastructure, no one being able to influence transactions, very quick transaction execution, and most importantly, we can connect to any blockchain out there. We connect any virtual machine to any other virtual machine, and once we have a core integration of a virtual machine, we can deploy to any chain on that VM, be it L1, be it L2, in as little as 3 hours. This is how we connect all of the chains out there. This is how we connect all of the compute out there. And this is how we enable the next generation of applications to be built. Alongside the quick and easy deployment on any chain out there, we make our infrastructure highly customizable because not every developer has the same needs as other developers. Not every process has the same requirements as another process. And with the relayers that execute your transactions being interchangeable, a developer is able to build a setup that is most suitable for their requirements. Do you want it to be very quick? You can build a setup like that. Do you want to optimize for security? You can optimize for security. Do you want to optimize for cost? You can optimize for cost. And developers can optimize for it very easily because they specify what sort of relayers have to execute their transactions within the transaction itself. So to switch from one to another, you have to change one attribute and one line of code. You can change it every transaction. It's fine. It's going to work. And obviously, like any new iteration, it's better, it's quicker, and we have actually managed to reduce, in our testing, the transaction speed to 15 seconds from any chain to any other chain for value transfers and sub 5 seconds for message transfers. All of this is exciting, but when is it going to be a reality? Well, I'm excited to tell you that our testnet is going to be live this November, with the mainnet coming early Q1 2025. The first iteration of our mainnet, we will connect all of the EVMs out there. But in Q1, we'll be focusing on connecting other VMs such as Solana VM and Ton VM. If you would like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. My Telegram is on screen, my email is on screen. Scan the QR codes to visit our website, to contact us, and to read our documentation. And at the end of it all, thank you very much for coming here, to listening to how we are gonna not only define the future of DeFi, but the future of the blockchain technology altogether and how blockchains communicate with each other. Thank you all.
Thanks, Andy. A pleasure having you.